If you want to create eye-catching visual effects that stop the scroll on TikTok or Instagram, you need a workflow that is both professional and efficient. Today, I'm breaking down my complete VFX pipeline, moving from camera tracking in Blender to compositing, and finally, using Vizard to repurpose the footage into viral content. Download the project files linked in the description below so you can follow along with every step of this process. Start by jumping into Blender and heading over to the motion tracking workspace to load your footage for analysis. Converting your clip into an image sequence first ensures that the playback is much smoother and more stable while you work. Make sure you adjust your color management settings to standard mode to keep your footage neutral while you solve the camera movements. Configure your tracking panel by bumping up the correlation to around 0.9 to help Blender identify key features accurately. A pro tip is to lower your feature threshold, which generates more trackers across your frame for better overall stability. Track your footage both forwards and backwards from a few key anchor zones to ensure you have consistent coverage across the entire clip. Once you have your points, clean up any outliers that appear in your graph window to prevent errors in your final camera solve. Once your reprojection error is below 5 pixels, your solve is stable enough to start building your 3D scene around the footage. Now, we need to align the virtual 3D axes with the real world, so create a temporary cube to help visualize your floor plane. Rotate your camera until that cube aligns perfectly with the vertical lines of the architecture in your actual video footage. Once you have your alignment, delete that helper cube and model the specific geometry you need to act as your shadow catcher. Bevel the edges of your 3D model slightly to ensure your shadows look soft and realistic rather than harsh and artificial. Next, import your product model into the scene and scale it so that it sits naturally on the surface you just modeled. Head over to your World tab and add an HDR environment texture to make sure the lighting on your object matches the real world. Create a diffuse material for your building geometry, sampling colors directly from your footage to help everything blend seamlessly. Use view layers to render your headphones and your shadows separately, which gives you much more control during the compositing phase. Set your shadow catching object to only render indirect contributions, creating a transparent shadow map that you can layer over your plate. Once your PNG sequences are exported, drop them into After Effects and stack your footage, shadow, and product layers in the correct order. Instead of using a plain black shadow, use your footage as a track matte to color correct the shadow so it matches the environment's lighting. Add a touch of camera lens blur to your product to match the depth of field of the original camera footage perfectly. Finally, apply a light grain overlay and a subtle vignette to tie your 3D elements to the original plate. Now that you have your high-quality master video, it is time to turn that long content into a stream of viral social media clips. Drop your long-form edit into Vizard and let its AI automatically identify the best, most engaging moments for TikTok and Reels. Vizard handles the heavy lifting by chopping up your content and optimizing it, saving you hours of tedious manual editing time. You can also use its built-in content calendar to schedule these posts across multiple platforms, keeping your workflow organized. By combining professional VFX techniques with automated tools like Vizard, you can run a one-person studio that produces content like a massive team. Check the link in the description for the project files and start experimenting with your own render workflow today. Let me know in the comments which social media platform your content crushes first, and feel free to ask any technical questions about the process.